Hello, this is La Choreography, and this is my wish list for October 2025's Polish Pickup. The theme this month is Optical Illusions, and I've already gone ahead and made a preliminary first impressions wish list, and I have 16 items right now that are catching my eye. I'm off to a late start this month because I was without a voice for all of the last week since wish listing opened. But it's mostly back, so we'll dive right in and take a look at the 16 items that have made my preliminary wish list. The first item on my wish list is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, and this one is called Spicy Noodle. This was inspired by the maker's previous life as a herpetologist and of all the copperheads they almost stepped on. This is a deep brown base with copper magnetic pigment and a gold light reflective glitter. And it does have a note here saying that this polish will have a slightly thicker formula because of the glitter. There is a cap of 700. What that means is that this maker is committing to creating 700 of these polishes before it's considered sold out. I love the overall coppery, warm brown look to this polish. In this swatch collage here, I love how we've got several different skin tones, and to me, it's equally flattering on everybody. It also appears to my eye anyway through these 4 photos here in this collage that this seems to be quite a reactive magnetic pigment. In every single one of these photos, I'm really seeing a striking magnetic effect, not a subtle one. So that's all really appealing to me right off the top. Additionally, I've got to give a big shout out to the reflective glitter component in here. I love reflective glitter in polishes still. It is a favorite component of mine. And I find that no matter whether it's loaded with reflective glitter or if it's just a small scattering, it provides this twinkle unlike any other. I'm loving the idea that this one is also a gold light reflective glitter that happens in here. So it would coordinate and complement quite well, I think, with this base color as well as the magnetic pigment. I think this one would be really show-stopping all through the fall and through the winter. I think it has quite a tiger's eye effect about it. And I'm really loving the look of this polish in all magnetic states, whether it's cat eye or velvet style. This really beautiful brown, coppery, sparkly magnetic nail polish is by Bee's Knees Spicy Noodle. This next polish up is by Lacquer, and this one is called Let Him Go, Keep Yourself. This polish was inspired by Mimi Choi's Illusion Makeup, and the Instagram handle is provided in the description. This polish is described as being a deep maroon red with matte yellow glitter in different sizes and pink iridescent flakes. There are only 600 of these being made available this month. I love this formula by Lacquer. I own several, and it seems like no matter what the colorway, I'm always drawn to it, and it invariably ends up in my shopping cart. The formula of their glitter flaky polishes always just seems so perfect, the perfect balance, just the right amount and viscosity of base to really suspend all the gorgeous components, which are always in quite generous supply. The glitters, the flakes, the beautiful pooling effect that tends to happen. It really is something that I think Lacquer has mastered. The colorway of this one just has me. To me, this is a perfectly beautiful fall polish. I love the idea of that matte yellow glitter. It's really a striking and happy kind of color. And then all those reds and purples and pinks. It's just such a beautiful contrast. It really is gorgeous for fall. I think it would be equally fun in the winter. I could see this one being a spring and summer polish too. It's a very dark take on a spring polish. There's something about the yellow glitter component as well as those flakes that to me almost makes this one seasonless. I'm really loving everything about this one. The colorway, it's a formula I know I love. This one is a high contender on my wish list. This beautiful glitter flaky polish is by Lacquer. Let Him Go, Keep Yourself. This next polish up is by Colores de Carol, and this one is called Whispers of Flames. Whispers of Flame is an amber golden yellowish olive base with red to black shifting shimmer and hollow flakes. The inspiration for this one is the phoenix, a mythical bird symbolizing immortality and rebirth, known for its fiery self-immolation and subsequent resurrection from ashes. I highly recommend you use a base coat as you may experience staining. I love polishes like this one that seem to have that fiery glow from within. I also really love brown leaning polishes, and I'm very intrigued by the fact that this one is described as having an amber golden yellowish olive base with all this deep shimmer happening in it as well. Like, it just sounds like it would be a really interesting and unique base color to see in real life. I'm really loving the way that the swatchers seem to be capturing the look of this shimmer, making me think of burning embers happening in both the bottle shots and right on the nails. It actually looks to my eye here that in the upper right of this swatcher's collage, it looks to my eye that that might be mattified. And actually it's quite a nice look mattified as well. It really sort of eliminates that shimmer effect, it seems, but it's got a lovely effect, almost simplifying it down to a brown base with a gold flake. And it is really appearing to my eye as being perhaps gold hollow flakes happening here, but I can't entirely be sure. The description just says hollow flakes, but it does seem to be gold hollow flakes, which is kind of a nice addition. The thing that makes this one a standout for me really is that glow, that fire, that ember effect. It really is getting me, and this one is one of my top picks this month on my wish list. This murky base colored polish with the hollow flakes and that glowing shimmer is by Colores de Carol, Whispers of Flames. This next item on my wish list is a nail care item. This is a cuticle oil and cuticle remover pen duo by Glisten and Glow. The cuticle remover being offered this month is unscented, and the cuticle oil is scented in Hocus Pocus, which is described as having sweet vanilla, rich spices, hints of butter, and a touch of sugar. It goes on to describe quite a bit about how to use the product and also what the benefits of this product are. And luckily, it says that there is no cap. What that means is, in this case, the maker, Glisten and Glow, can create as many of these items as are needed to fulfill all orders this month. I am a Canadian, and we're heading into the colder weather months in my part of the world. Colder, drier weather just does a number on my skin and on my nails. I really have to get ahead of all of that and stock my drawers with all kinds of high quality nail and skincare items to get me through a long winter. Now, this is a product I've never tried before, but I've heard such great things. Already now in early October, I can actually see that I could benefit from a product like this, the cuticle remover. I'm intrigued by the fact that this one comes in a pen applicator form. And I also love the fact that it says to apply generously to the cuticle area and let sit for 60 seconds. Then do all the actions that you need to do for cleanup, and then wash hands and cuticles thoroughly with soap and water. So it actually sounds like it's a reasonably mess-free, easy, and quick process. I really look forward to adding this to my nail care routine. I definitely already need it, and I know that I will use it regularly throughout the colder months of the year. If you have any experience with this product from Glisten and Glow, please feel free to add all your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know all your tips and tricks, and also how you like it. This nail care item is by Glisten and Glow, and it is their cuticle oil and cuticle remover pen duo. This next polish up is by Garden Path Lacquers, and this one is called Divine Inspiration. This polish is inspired by a tropical camouflage theme park character named Divine. This polish is described as being a shifty shade filled with an intense beetle green ultra multi-chrome pigment and purple holographic microglitters. And luckily, there is no availability cap for this item either. In the days this past week, when I had no voice, I actually did quite a bit of scanning through the internet, through YouTube, through Instagram, through Facebook, to take a look at additional swatch photos and especially swatch videos of some of the offerings this month. And this polish stood out to me so many times as one that just had a really gorgeous base color and look to it, but also the way that the swatchers were reacting in video swatch footage as they were applying this polish. The shifts of this base color really seemed to be quite extraordinary. This beetle green, I am a huge green lover, But this beetle green ultra multi-chrome pigment, it seems to be incredibly shifty, really quite dramatic, and the base color itself seemed to get a lot of the swatchers on YouTube really excited. Also, I know that I adore this type of finish from Garden Path Lacquers, where they have holographic micro glitters added to a base color. This is one of those ones that I know I would love because every single one that I have with this type of finish in my collection, I absolutely adore. There really is some kind of magic in this type of finish, and Garden Path Lacquers has absolutely mastered this formula. This one is another top pick on my wish list this month. And as a green lover, I think I could get away with wearing this one pretty much any time of year, any season. I think I would adore it. This beautiful beetle green polish is by Garden Path Lacquers, Divine Inspiration. This next one on my wish list is by Great Lakes Lacquer, and this one is called An Upside Down World. An upside down world is described as being a smoky slate blue filled with a red to orange to gold shifting shimmer. It's inspired by a photographed optical illusion of the Chicago skyline upside down taken from the shores of Lake Michigan's east coast. And there is an availability cap of only 800 being made available. And if you take a look up at the button, it does indicate that this polish is currently sold out. So the shop has actually been open now for a little bit over 24 hours. We're actually at we're approaching the 27-hour mark now that the shop has been open. So unfortunately, 800 of these polishes have already sold out. So that's a problem with me not having a voice this past week and filming this wish listing video late. Unfortunately, at the time of filming, this polish is no longer available. I do want to go ahead and talk about it though, for the reason why this made my preliminary first impressions wish list. This one just looks so interesting. It is such an unusual grayed out but yet glowy base color with that shimmer that I just don't really see from any other brand. Like there's some sort of uniqueness happening there. I always think of shimmer polishes as kind of a specialty of Great Lakes Lacquer. They do many other different finishes, but for whatever reason, just the shimmer polish and the way they execute it, it's always my favorite, no matter what kind of colorway. I'm so intrigued by the fact that this one is described as having a smoky slate blue base. And then it's filled with this warm glowy shimmer, a red to orange to gold shifting shimmer. That is a wildly vibrant shimmer. Taking a look at this next swatch photo here, I am perhaps seeing a little bit more of that murky base color, both in the bottle and on the swatcher's nails. It's just so interesting. It really is a fall in a bottle type of polish, kind of a pruggly, but actually I don't even consider it that. I think it's gorgeous. To me, there's a deep mystery about it with this grayed out look. It's got that really vibrant glow, which to me adds kind of a fire or an optimism or a warmth. And wow, here it looks so incredibly grayed out, very much like a slate type color. Interesting that it's slate blue. I guess I could see that too. But yeah, that sort of gray slate kind of look. Oh, this is really quite beautiful. So as far as the availability of this product goes, at this time on Saturday at 1:41 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, this item is sold out. And it did say from the maker that this one has an availability cap of 800 items being made available. Polish Pickup does have a very active Facebook group. And very often what happens is that in the Polish Pickup Facebook group, they have a FOMO thread where it talks about items that are selling out or that are close to being sold out. Also, they do tend to add updates in that thread if some of the makers are by some chance able to create additional items for sale, moving out of a sold out situation back into having their product being available. That does tend to happen sometimes if a maker anticipates only a certain number of items being moved through sale and then there being unexpectedly high demand. Sometimes the maker may have additional materials on hand, additional bottles, additional polish components in order to make some additional bottles, in order to offer a few additional items for sale. So that might be my best recommendation to you, that if this item still appeals to you and you want to know if it's still available, do check out the Polish website. See if the sold out button switches to add to cart. See if that sold out button flips over to be an add to cart button again. Or also you can consider monitoring the availability status of an item like this one through the Polish Pickup Facebook group. Look for the FOMO thread if that's the way that you'd like to go about doing it. This really gorgeous grayed out shimmer polish is by Great Lakes Lacquer and Upside Down World. This next polish up is by Lurid Lacquer, and this one is called Autumnal Illusion. This one is inspired by an optical illusion of a butterfly hidden in fall foliage. Autumnal Illusion features a warm yellow base with reddish orange shimmer and pink light reflective glitter. There is an availability cap of only 750 of these being made available this month. This base color for me just screams August, September, October. There's something about this one that makes me think of those late summer sunrises and sunsets. It also makes me think of changing fall leaves. It also makes me think of sunlight on the water. I really find a colorway like this one breathtaking. And I have to give another shout out to the addition of, in this case, pink light reflective glitter. Reflective glitter would just make this polish sparkle, that undeniable, otherworldly sparkle that no other polish component can give. I am a lover of green polishes and all things green, but my other favorite color is orange. And this polish is really unlike any orange colored polish that I have. There seems to be quite a golden effect to this one. It actually makes me think a lot of like a marigold type orange or an apricot type orange in a way. I'm kind of picturing some of those dried Turkish apricots. It's such a lovely fresh color, almost saffron a little bit too. I'm loving in this photo too the way that that light reflective glitter really picks up. There's that sparkle. I do detect a little bit of that hint of pink in that light reflective glitter as well. This is just such a beautiful, sunny, vibrant, and to me, happy nail color. This is another polish where I'm really loving everything about it. This beautiful orange polish is by Lurid Lacquer, Autumnal Illusion. This next one up is by Night Owl Lacquer, and this one is called Moon Illusion. This is described as being a grayed indigo with glowy copper gold shimmer, copper glass fleck, and holographic dust. This one was inspired by the Moon Illusion. There is no availability cap for this polish this month. I really love this base color. One of the very first nail polishes that I was obsessed with when I was growing up was this old classic Revlon nail polish, probably available maybe even in the late 80s, but definitely in the 90s, because I had a couple of bottles of it. But it was called Virtual Violet. For whatever reason, I'm thinking it was like color 23. I don't know why that number is sticking with me in my memory. I don't have this polish anymore. In fact, I kind of wonder though if it might be in my parents' basement. But there's something about a purple like this one. I always thought of it as like a dusty purple, kind of a dusty mauve lilac type purple. And this kind of a colorway reminds me of that so much. It was a color that I wore all the time. It was really the only polish in my earlier years because I had no money to buy polish. But it was a polish where I actually had multiple bottles. I think I had about 3 bottles of this polish. And I wore it often. There's something about this base color that really reminds me of that type of a base color. It's like that polish that somehow I let go. And I don't know what happened. As I said, I should take a look in my parents' basement. I mean, I may find it in a bin somewhere, or more likely it's just long gone. But this one is just such an elevated take on that kind of a purple from my past. This coppery gold shimmer, like I truly see a coppery, almost like a rose gold type shimmer happening here. I love copper. I find copper sometimes is a little bit hard to come by in polish. I don't know why. I kind of love browns of all types, whether they're like straight browns or kind of a metallic-y brown, like a copper or a bronze. But I find they're a little bit hard to come by. So there's something about this base color paired with this gorgeous shimmer, that warm, like that coppery kind of rose gold, warm shimmer. This one is really beautiful. For all the nostalgia that this one is bringing me, and I mean, this is far superior to the polish of my youth, that Revlon Virtual Violet. It didn't have a shimmer, anything like this. In fact, if I'm remembering, it was really quite a pearl type purple finish, which was pretty common back in the day. But this one is so elevated beyond that, but yet it still brings back so many of those memories. I know that I would love a color like this one. And also these days, I do find colors like this a little bit hard to come by. This one is another top pick of mine. This beautiful purple with that coppery shimmer is by Night Owl Lacquer Moon Illusion. This next one up is by Paint It Pretty Polish, and this one is called a Blue Jay's Feather. A blue jay's feather is one of nature's most beautiful optical illusions. Their feathers are not actually blue, but appear that way because of light scattering. The polish is a magnetic that shifts through teal, blue, and purple in a black base. And there are only 250 of these being made available this month. And luckily, at the time of me filming this polish is still available. This one actually is probably my very top pick this month. So first of all, Paint It Pretty Polish is a Canadian brand. I am a Canadian, and this polish maker is from my home province of Ontario, Canada. So I try to support Paint It Pretty Polish as often as I possibly can, both through collaboration offerings like Polish Pickup and also directly through their website. But then there's this polish. So first of all, this incredible blue, this magnetic blue that really does shift through exactly what this describes. Teal to blue to purple in a black base. I see all those shifts, the teal, the blue, the purple. It looks to my eye that this polish is really quite a strongly shifting polish. It couldn't be better timing that this polish is inspired by Blue Jays feathers. Canada's baseball team, the Toronto Blue Jays, has made it to the playoffs as the top in the American League this year. And the timing could not be any better for a polish like this one, inspired by a Blue Jay's feather. The Toronto Blue Jays, they're about to face off against the New York Yankees in the ALDS, the first ever time the two teams have ever faced off in the playoffs. And Canada is abuzz with excitement over this Toronto Blue Jays baseball team, as am I. So I've actively, over the last probably 2 weeks or so leading up to the playoffs, I've been pulling out all kinds of blue nail polishes, superstitious me, hoping to bring any kind of extra superstitious luck I can to the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's just so perfect that this one is being offered right now. This polish is meaningful for me all the time, not just right now heading into baseball playoffs. All my life, the Toronto Blue Jays have always been my favorite baseball team, even when we did have the Montreal Expos also representing Canada in Major League Baseball. But not only that, the actual Blue Jay. It's funny, around my area, I find that Blue Jays as a bird out in the wild are a little bit more rare. It's kind of interesting. I guess my neighbors and I don't really have any bird feeders out to really attract them. I see them more at relatives' homes, sort of outside of the city where I live. So it's always so magical to see that flash of blue as a blue jay flies across the sky. And for all these reasons, both because of the baseball team and also because of the incredible beauty of a blue jay in nature, this one is probably my very top pick of polish pickup this month. This beautiful shifty blue magnetic polish is by Paint It Pretty Polish, a Blue Jay's feather. This next item up on my wish list is another care item, and this one is a glass pedicure file. Now, unfortunately, at the time of filming this one is also listed as being sold out. I'm kind of guessing that because this one is not a case of a maker having enough nail polish bottles or enough components to go in those nail polish bottles, I'm kind of guessing that this one won't be restocked, which is too bad because I actually did miss out on this one this month. I was working at the time of the shop opening and I could not make my purchase until quite a bit later on Friday evening. And this polish had been sold out for quite a while at the time of me making my purchase. It's too bad because we're heading into the colder weather months. Even though the days are still reasonably warm in my area, boy, the nights get very chilly. And I'm almost always wearing sweaters and jackets now in the evenings. But I'm really starting to notice the toll that it's taking on my skin and on my nails. A tool like this one would really benefit me this winter and all the time. Being able to better take care of a pedicure for myself in my own home during the cooler months. I'm kind of guessing that this one won't come available again, which is too bad for me. It means I've missed out on it this month. But this one is a Polish Pickup branded item, so I'm hoping that in future months they might be able to bring this one back and offer it again when they have additional stock. This care item is a Polish Pickup branded pedicure file made of glass. This next item up is by Pi Colors, and this one is called Eisenkissel, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. This polish is a red-brown polish base with veins of cyan and blue, color shifting to red at the edges. Eisenkissel is a German word, I think it means to say German word, referring to a type of mineral, a delicately veined quartz with irregular patterns, inspired by the optical illusion of crystals in a mirror. There is a cap on this one of only 300. I missed out on this polish earlier when I made my purchase late on Friday night when I had got home from work. I missed out on this polish. This one had completely sold out. So I believe it is indicating that this is now available again for purchase. So I think this means that the maker must have been able to add a few more items to the sale this month, which is great. So I may have to go back in as soon as I'm done filming this and try to make my purchase of this item. This one as well was one of my top picks this month, and I was kind of heartbroken when it didn't come through. But then I thought, okay, well, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. So let me give you a rundown of why I love this one so much. The moment I saw this one, it actually made me think of Jo on YouTube from Polish Talk. She often talks about grandma polishes, which I think is just so adorable. She is actually just recently a grandmother herself. I love how she talks about these kind of mauve or rose color polishes as grandma polishes. There is such a vintage beauty about polishes like this one. And the moment I saw this one, I actually thought, oh, Jo, this is a grandma polish for you. I love it. But no, it's a grandma polish for me. I am not a grandma, but I have all grandma hobbies. One of my favorite cozy home hobbies is to sit and knit and watch Murder, She Wrote on TV. And to me, this is the quintessential nail polish for an activity kind of like that, which now that I'm saying it, I kind of want to do tonight. Knit in front of Murder, She Wrote. That would be so much fun. Anyway, back to this polish. It's got this rosy mauve color. It's described here as being a red-brown polish base. And then it's got this cool colored shimmer, so very much a contrasting shimmer. This one is just so beautiful. And for how strong this shimmer appears as well in this base, both of those swatch photos on the left right now are really appearing incredibly striking as far as that play of the shimmer against that base. It looks like a very strong shimmer. I have nothing like this polish in my collection. Shimmers are my standard go-to polishes. I find that even if I'm in a rush or if I've got a busy week, even if I happen to get a chip for my polish, it's always so easy to apply and remove shimmer polishes, but yet they give you that undeniable indie look that you can't always get from a drugstore polish. This one looks to me just so special and striking. That glow, I mean, in some of these swatch photos, it's wild how contrasting that shimmer is against the base. This one is another one of my top picks this month, and I have to stop talking about it so I can finish filming this and go back into the Polish Pickup website and purchase this polish because I did miss out on it on Friday night when I placed my initial order. This dramatic, shifting, reddish-brown based polish is by Pi Colors Eisenkissel. This next polish up is by Red Eyed Lacquer, and this one is called Persistence of Memory. This one is inspired by the Salvador Dali painting, Persistence of Memory. It's described as being an off-white crelly with orange-gold shifting glass flakes, blue-green iridescent flakes, and black flakes. And this one has a cap of only 200 being made available. This one may have been the fastest add to wish list in my entire 16 item preliminary wish list. The moment I saw this one, it was an immediate add to wish list for so many different reasons. My initial reaction was finally, and it was because about a year ago, actually now it's approaching almost 2 years ago. So I'm thinking, if my memory serves me correctly, I think it was in 2024 for February's polish pickup. It was the wild animal themed month. Rogue Lacquer released an off-white polish with these flakies called Aim High. So an off-white based polish with a plethora of flakies, and it was inspired by a giraffe. And I passed it up. Why? I have no idea. Probably for budgetary reasons, because I loved it. I mean, this happens all the time to me. I adore a polish, and then I have to cut it from my wish list because of budget. That's the responsible thing to do. I have never been able to get that polish off my mind. And the moment I saw this one, I thought, you know what? It's not that, but I love this one. And I won't make the same mistake this time that I made last time. So I did actually purchase this polish on Friday night. This one does have a very small availability cap at only 200 available, but I was able to secure it. Just the effect of these flakies. I love that it's got the wild flash of the green to blue shifting iridescent flakes here. They really pop. Definitely not the same type of giraffe sort of vibe, but very much I can see the inspiration in the Salvador Dali's painting Persistence of Memory, one of his really iconic surrealist works. I also love the grounding to this polish that's provided by those black flakes. It's just like the perfect amount. There's definitely an amount of them, but you can still see the orange gold shifting glass flakes as well as the blue to green shifting flakes in there as well. They don't overpower. I find they just ground it. The whole overall look of this polish is really stunningly beautiful. I also love the elegance of the fact that this one is described as an off-white polish. It doesn't have that same marshmallowy look or stark white type look that you sometimes get in a white-based flaky polish or a white glitter crelly. It's got that softness, almost like a slight peach aspect to it. I was just so thrilled to see this polish on the website this month, and I am so thankful that I was able to purchase this polish even with such a small cap of only 200 when I was finally able to make my purchase on Friday night. I adore this one. This beautiful off-white flaky polish is by Red Eyed Lacquer, Persistence of Memory. This next one up is by Rogue Lacquer, and this one is called A Schooner is a Sailboat. This one was inspired by the Magic Eye sailboat in Mallrats, and this one is described as being a bluebell crelly with orange, pink, gold, and green glass flakes and black metallic flakes. There are only 300 of these being made available. I feel like that's a little bit unusual actually for Rogue Lacquer. I find very often Rogue Lacquer does not have availability caps on their polishes. So that's something that I'll have to be watching out for quite a bit with this polish. Now the reason why this one made my wish list is, first of all, Rogue Lacquer Flakies. They do these flaky based polishes so beautifully, these flaky bombs, that when I knew I liked the look of this polish with this sort of dusty blue base, seeing that it was a Rogue Lacquer Flaky, I added it right to my wish list. The other thing that I'm really loving about this one is it's giving me a little bit of a denim blue kind of vibe. That base color being a little bit dusty but blue leaning really brings to mind, and I don't know why this is, because I mean denim doesn't really have flakies like this, these iridescent flakies at all. But it's that base color. It's got that denim blue type base color. I crave colors like this one, these denim blue based colors with no matter what type of polish finish, whether it's flakies, glitters, creme, shimmers. I love them all. And always in this sort of back to school season, this early fall, and actually really throughout the fall, but especially September, October, I love colors like this one. So this one made my wish list. Now this one actually did not make my final cut when I made my purchase on Friday. And I don't really recall why. I mean, it's budget for sure. I really like this one. So now that the pie colors has come available again, I'm going to have to think, like, do I want to add this one to my purchase along with the pie colors? I did pass it up, and I guess it's because I do have other flaky polishes kind of similar to this by Rogue Lacquer, but not with this base color. So I am going to have to think about this one quite closely. I passed it up the first time around. Am I really regretting it? Kind of. So I have a chance to go in and make another purchase. I'll have to think whether this one might join the pie colors when I stop talking and filming this. So I'll have to think fast on this polish, but I really do love it. This beautiful flaky polish with that smoky blue base is by Rogue Lacquer. A schooner is a sailboat. This next polish up is by Royla Lee, and this one is called Feathered Illusion. Royla Lee was inspired by the illusion of hummingbird wings and how quickly they flutter, giving the illusion they're floating. This is a teal base with a magnetic shimmer that shifts from pink to gold to green and subtle hollow. There is no availability cap for this one. This polish is probably my second place top pick this month. First of all, the idea of hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are really quite special in my family. My dad has had hummingbird feeders in his yard for well over a decade, possibly even 2 decades by now. And hummingbirds always feature as like the most ethereal dinner guests anytime we have dinner together as a family in my parents' backyard. And we spot hummingbirds like every 10 or 15 minutes throughout the summer and early fall. It's just so magical. And so because of that, this one really does pull at my heartstrings quite a bit. It's not just my dad and my family that loves hummingbirds. I've got a couple of uncles as well that have hummingbird feeders at their homes. And it's sort of a family thing. I can't really explain it, but it really is very deeply special to me. And I think that this polish just embodies the vibe, the look of a hummingbird just so perfectly. This one really does look like a magical magnetic polish. I love the shifts that are happening here. It truly is a hummingbird polish. And the fact that there's a little bit of subtle hollow in here as well, that would just add to the magic of the overall look of this polish. I think this one would be a showstopper. I am very happy to say that I did add this polish to my cart on Friday night, and it is going to be coming home to me. These shifts, the sparkle, the magnetic effect. I also adore how this hummingbird-inspired polish goes so perfectly with the Royla Lee bottle logo, where they have the hummingbird featured so prominently. This one is just such a perfect polish offering. This magical hummingbird-inspired magnetic polish is by Royla Lee, Feathered Illusion. This next polish up is by Sweet and Sour Lacquer, and this one is called Shake Your Moneymaker. Shake Your Moneymaker is a deep maroon base with red reflective glitter and blue metallic flakes. It's inspired by an image of a butt that moves when you shake your phone. And there is a cap for this one of only 250. And unfortunately, as you can probably see from the button just above the description there, this one is another sold out offering. And yes, I missed out on this one as well. Now, I've got to say, the inspiration for this one is absolutely hilarious. And in fact, in the Polish Pickup Facebook group, the maker did provide this exact image in the Facebook group. And it is hilarious. It is hilarious to see. And I think it's just such a perfect interpretation of that image in Polish form. Like, it actually makes me laugh, even just speaking about this right now. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's hilarious, and it is just so perfectly executed on the part of Sweet and Sour Lacquer. This is an amazing offering. Now, sadly, I missed out on this one. A cap of 250 was very tiny, and this one sold out, I don't even know how quickly, incredibly quickly, I'm guessing. I love the depth of this deep maroon base. It's kind of interesting. I was kind of wondering at first when it was this red with blue polish, I was kind of wondering if it would look maybe a little bit too 4th of July or American looking. I am not an American. I appreciate Americans and 4th of July. I can appreciate the celebration, but that always kind of crosses my mind when I see red and blue combination polishes. And it was kind of interesting. There was a swatcher, I believe it may have been Hey Mercedes on YouTube, that mentioned, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that she mentioned that this one does actually not have that type of an effect. I guess for anybody that's really looking for that red and blue type effect, that this one would fit the bill for that. But I think what she was alluding to was just the depth of this polish. It really is more of a maroon, like it's got a little bit more of a depth, a deeper look, a little bit more maybe purple leaning. So it doesn't quite give that like stereotypical red and blue kind of look that you would get with a more primary version of a red and blue polish. The thing that really got me with this one was the reflective glitter component. This one is so sparkly. It's beautiful. It's really, again, unlike anything I have. I always kind of give bonus points to makers for their creativity. And this to me is a polish that I've never seen before. This red reflective with the blue flakies. Here it is, I'm assuming under flash photography because this really does look like a cherry red in this image. So I'm guessing this one may be taken with flash. You can just see the effect of that reflective glitter looks so dynamic and dramatic. I'm sorry to say that I missed out on this one. I'll be monitoring this one a little bit as the days go on, as we approach the shop close date on Monday, October the 6th at the end of the day. But I mean, this just may be one that I was meant to miss out on. I don't know. It's one that I hope maybe might come back one day for Rewind if it can't come back during this shop opening, because it really is quite special and beautiful, and I can only imagine this sparkle would just come to life in the sunlight. This beautiful reflective glitter polish is by Sweet and Sour Lacquer Shake Your Moneymaker. This final item on my wish list this month is by Zombie Claw, and this one is called All Is Vanity. This polish is described as having an indigo base with red gold copper flakies and red hollow mixed glitters. This one is inspired by All Is Vanity by Charles Allen Gilbert, and there are only 300 of these ones being made available as well. Now it's interesting, I've got quite a few purple offerings this month that are appearing on my wish list. There was the Cadillacer with the glitter and flakies. There's the previous one that's a little bit more of a red maroon type base, the Sweet and Sour Lacquer with the reflective glitter. And now there's this one. I'm so intrigued by the fact that this one is described as having an indigo base. My eyes, looking through most of these swatch photos and also some swatch videos, my eyes are making this out to be quite a purple leaning base. And I guess really like indigo and purple, like it's all color mixing anyway. And sure, I agree that this is more of a blue leaning purple, but yeah, my eyes are very much picking up like a purple type base, which I love. What I'm seeing, I love. I think it's beautiful, whether it's indigo or whether it's purple. But then it's these flakes. These look like the most like quintessential fallen leaf flakies. I'm also rather intrigued by the fact that there are red hollow mixed glitters in here too. Like the sparkle that would come off of here, I'm pretty sure would be just jaw-dropping in natural sunlight. Already, I love the effect of this kind of thinner looking base. It looks like very much a jelly type base from these swatch photos. Sometimes a color like this you would anticipate might overwhelm the red, gold, copper flakies and kind of muddy them, but this one doesn't have that effect at all. Like it really does look like it's a nice consistency base to really showcase the components within it. Those flakies look so fiery and vibrant. They're really the perfect October fall leaves. The layering, the pooling. In this close-up, I can really see those red hollow mixed glitters in the different sizes. To me, it would just add such a beautiful impact in this overall picture on the nail. I always love it when a maker can kind of bottle up a season in a bottle. And to me, this is that. Zombie Claw is a brand that is really very underrepresented in my collection. I would say that I have less than 5 bottles of Zombie Claw polishes in my collection. And I really don't know why that is, because I'm kind of taken by their polishes time and time again. I mean, really, budget often dictates my moves. But this one is quite special. I haven't purchased it yet. But as I said, I'm probably going to go back into the shop and purchase that Pie Colors polish now that it's been made available. And this one might also make its way into the cart. This one is pretty special and unique. The stunning polish that looks like fallen leaves on the nails is by Zombie Claw, All Is Vanity. Now I'm going to keep this short because I want to go back into the shop. But that is my preliminary wish list for October 2025's polish pickup. Now, unfortunately, this month I did get to shopping quite late, and I did miss out on some of the items that I was really hoping I could get. I did end up purchasing, though, several of the ones I was hoping to get. The Royal Lee, the Hummingbird inspired polish, the Paint It Pretty polish, the Blue Jay inspired polish. Bee's Knees lacquer ended up in my cart. The Cattle lacquer, the Caloristic Carol, and the Garden Path lacquers all ended up in my cart, as well as the Great Lakes lacquer. So I did quite a bit of damage this month. Also the Night Owl lacquer. I did pass up several, though. I did also get the Red-Eyed lacquer as well to make up for the one that I missed over a year ago from Rogue Lacquer. I did miss out, though, on several of my picks, and ultimately my shopping cart was dictated by a lot of those sellouts. So Polish Pickup is open from October the 3rd to October the 6th. And this is a pre-order shop. So when you place your order, it'll take several weeks before the polishes make it from the makers to the Polish Pickup headquarters and then shipped out to your home. These are limited edition offerings. So once the Polish Pickup shop is closed for the month, that is it. So I'm wondering, are you planning on shopping Polish Pickup this month? Or have you already shopped Polish Pickup this month? What did you end up getting? I'd also love to know all your thoughts on my preliminary wish list picks. Some of the items I picked up, several of them I did have to turn down, and I did miss out on quite a few. I am intending, though, to go back into the shop to purchase the pie colors. That was one of my top picks this month. And I may sneak in one more to my shopping cart as I'm checking out. So I'd love to know your thoughts on my preliminary wish list as well. Please feel free to add all your comments and we can continue on the conversation long after. If you enjoy wishlisting content like this, please consider giving this video a like. It indicates to me that you enjoy content similar to this. And moving forward in the months ahead, I'll try my best to produce content like this as often as I can. As well, if you enjoy nail-related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.